That's unfortunate, but, you know, remember 2001? 2001, the good old days, you can do full splits, so that's pretty cool. Probably be easy when you just die. Wow, I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video, where today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that I got recently, and that is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro kind of style-ish wave Ben Reilly Spider-Man. As you can tell right off the bat, this figure looks nothing like the picture they put on the box. Hasbro, why do you do that? You know, why does Hasbro do that? I mean, Toy Biz did it too sometimes, but why does Hasbro make it so that they show comic art of the figure and it always looks better than the actual figure? Like, the eyes don't match, the web lines don't match, the spider's different. Hasbro just sucks. That's the ultimate moral of the story here. But yeah, so I got this from Target. It was 20 bucks. I don't know why, but the Target near my house, I don't know why the prices at Target are always so weird. Like, but it did, I don't know. And the one near my house had only these Spider-Man retro figures for $20. And I also bought Tarantula at a Walmart for $24. And I returned it because, honestly, it's not good enough and doesn't bring me enough happiness to keep it. And I'm going to return this one too because, honestly, it doesn't bring me enough happiness to want to keep, you know. Also, it just kind of sucks. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this. Really quick, on the back of the box, we have a read up here. Armed with a web slinging suit and the memories of Peter Parker, clone Ben Reilly protects New York City as the heroic Spider-Man. You get a picture of the figure there, and that's actually a 3D render of the figure that looks better than the actual figure. Let's take him out of the box here. This one's really hard to pull out there. So I did already take it out of the box. As you saw, I cut it open. I did already take it out, and I played around with it. I posed it and stuff. And for this figure, what I'm gonna do, for the sake of this review at least, I'm gonna do like a regular review that's like maybe 10-15 minutes. I don't know. It depends. And then, excuse me. And then I'm also going to I'm gonna make like other videos, just basically just taking pictures of it and recording stuff. So when I do take it back, I can still sort of use the images as a reference, you know, kind of. Right off the bat, let's take a look at the face here. It looks like the head sculpt looks interesting. Like, the jaw for Spider-Man looks kind of weird. Like, compared to Spider-Man Classic Series 1 Spider-Man, this figure is too big for Spider-Man. It's enormous. You can see this guy actually has like a human face. He's got like a protrusion for his nose that goes down with the jaw. You can see his jawline here. This one has like no jaw. It looks like he's missing his lower jaw, and the head is bulbous and huge. I mean, obviously these two are basically different scale, because Hasbro makes their figures enormous for some reason. This is way too big for Spider-Man. This is even too big for, like, Captain America size. This is a huge body for Spider-Man. The head is, like, way too big for this body. The head should be a bit smaller. Like, the head looks huge, and what doesn't help is his shoulders are too low. Like, you can see this guy. Like, these parts are the traps, and that's the shoulder. They line up perfectly. It's not like, you know, it drops down. Like, you can see this one, it goes here and then it drops down. Like, it goes like this, like an angle, and then it drops for the shoulder. I mean, it does gap for the articulation, but the shoulder should be higher. But the head just looks dumb, and like the eyes don't even match the box. The eyes and the lines on the mask don't look anything the same, and the webs throughout the body are different. The Spider logo is pretty much the same. But then you can see here on his shoulders, he's got like the web line going up around his shoulder. This one doesn't have it. They have it down here. And by the way, this is also using the Renew Your Vows body. And you can see inside the joint. I didn't even pull this or mess with it or anything, but you can see inside the joint there. That's dumb. Like, when you rotate it, look, you can see the gaps on the joints on both sides, and the paint chips off there. You know, just by moving the arm like this and adjusting it and stuff, the paint rubs. This arm rubs on his body there, and it rubs the paint off. You can see it's rubbing off there too, and a little bit on the other side. Man, these figures are made out of crap. Like, you know, I like to crap on Hasbro as like a tradition, but honestly, like, I had this figure for like, when today's the 19th, I got it, it's Saturday. I got it on Friday. I got it yesterday, and the paint's like already chipping off, and I barely played with it. All I did was like, you know, the bare minimum, just kind of like, you know, testing the joints out and stuff. And, oh man, like, you know, it's this, like, you know, when Toy Biz makes mistakes, and Toy Biz did make mistakes, they sometimes screwed up the paint, or like the joints were kind of floppy, or like issues like that, but also, they're like $7, you know? Something like this was like $7 or $8. This is $24. And I know, yeah, price for stuff has gone up, like inflation and whatever, but if we were to, like, based on adjusting by inflation, nowadays this would be like 15. And you can see how drastic the quality difference is. His knees are loose because, you know, he's old and stuff, and I posed him around and stuff. But yeah, so it's like the price difference is so crazy. This would be like 15. This, honestly, for me, a fair price for this would be like $10, you know, like $10, 15 at most. And by the way, all the accessories you get is this. They don't even give you a full set of hands. You know, all you get is like 2 fist hands he has on the box by default. Then he has two whipping hands and one whipping hand, one sort of grabbing style pose, wall crawling hand, and then 2 fists. And one thing they did here, which is really cool, he's got that much range in his wrist. But if you take it off, you can bend the wrist a lot more. Like, you can bend it more than 90 degrees. But the problem is, there's this little flap of plastic right there. Because then when you put it on here, and then you bend it, you gotta really force it. Then the hand looks like it's coming off. So you have like that much range, and unless you force it, you get, you know, more range, but it comes off. So, and also for me, interchangeable hands aren't really a big deal, considering, you know, if the figure sucks, what are interchangeable hands gonna do? You know, like it doesn't improve a figure, it just makes it's not even worth the value. You know, if you can with like a flight stand or like in like web accessories, interchangeable heads, maybe one with different eyes and like an interchangeable mask, you know, a bunch of hands maybe. You know, if he came with a bunch of stuff, I'd be like, then accessories are good. But if all he comes with is 4 total hands and 2 on his body by default, that's nothing to me. That's whatever. His body, being Renew Your Vows body, its claim to fame, and it's like a gimmick. It's basically a gimmick, is that he has toe joints, which, I mean, they are pretty good. Like, in his defense, most Toy Biz figures can't do this, but he can stand on his tippy toes. If we can do this here. Come on. This is going to be a long review. There we go. Yeah, I can stand on his tippy toes. Because let's be honest, no one watches these reviews for an actual review of the product. You watch me to talk about a toy for an extended period. And he has a cockroach on his back, which, you know, the good thing is when you bend the butterfly joints that don't have much range, they actually did paint the design all the way on. And if you bend this, like, look, there's paint chipping on it from moving this joint. Like, using this joint, the paint chips off right here. And on the webs, notice on the back of the head, there's like some paint chipping. And then his head, like, when you move it up, that looks dumb. But then they just painted the figure almost black. It's not black, but it's a super, super dark blue that, in the lighting, it almost looks black. It's like a sort of very dark gray with like a slight hint of blue in it. And then the fact that you can see, like, his arm, like, you can see the, like, it has like a bunch of seams there. That's really weird. It looks like the arm broke, and then, like, they tried fixing it together using, like, really cheap equipment. Like, this is the Black Suit Spider-Man figure using kind of the same body. You can see his has that weird gap. This leg fell off. He has the weird gap in his leg, or his arm. But I customized it. That's the best I was able to do with the limited supplies I had and without completely making a new shoulder. So you know, do that. Like, this figure looks like that by default, and you could take the arm off. The pin it's because the pin here, the peg, is cut really weird. Like, it should be all flat. You know, as far as articulation goes, that's like the strong suit of this figure, right? Well, let's see. You can look up, not even all the way, and the head comes off, which that's kind of dumb. I mean, Hasbro, come on. I'm trying to find a figure as a reference. Here we have Battle Ravage Spider-Man, who from 2001 has basically the same joint, looks up a lot less, but this is from 2001, and he has like pretty decent. Yeah, look, if you force it, you basically get the same effect. Why does a figure from 2001 suffer from the same problem as a new figure? Like, that's dumb. Look, this guy has more range, and his neck doesn't dislocate from his body. Do you have like pivoting side to side, and it moves around? And it's because Hasbro, like, they put the ball so deep into his body there that that's the range you get on it. When you should have, like, you know, full range if it was up here, and like make the bar shorter. And then the head, like, and you do have movement and stuff, but you can't really look up or look. You can look down all the way, and you can look side to side, but you can't look up. Which, you know, if you have like Spider-Man in some kind of like diving pose, you have him like swinging, or you have him like crouch down like this, he can't look down. And he has toe joints, so you'd think he'd be able to crouch down really good. The arms go up about that high. You could probably force them a little bit more if you really, really tried. The arms rotate all the way around. You have butterfly joints that move in that far. I mean, that's pretty decent. And they go back really far, and that's really good. It's because they cut a lot of plastic here on the back. They cut a lot of plastic on the back, and you don't even notice it. If they would have cut a lot on the front, you'd have a lot more range for it. But no, not really. Rotation in the bicep. You get double joint in the elbow. And he is pinless, which is some really brand new tech from 2018 that actually was around since 2001. So not really new tech. Rotation here and a hinge in the wrist. He has a diaphragm joint which moves pretty decent. Like, it goes back like a decent amount. Like, that's a pretty decent amount for just the diaphragm. It goes forward, not really much, and it rotates here. Then he has an ab crunch, which goes forward pretty far, and you combine that with this joint. He goes forward. We straighten up his legs there. He goes forward pretty far, and he goes back like 90 degrees. That's really good. But then the problem with this is he doesn't have a waist swivel or like a ball pegger. He doesn't have any sort of movement down here so that you can bend him forward, and then you can have his body rotating to the side. Like this guy here, we can have him lean forward, and then he can rotate this way. Like, you can have Spider-Man rotating his body like that. This guy, you crunch him forward, that's as far as you can move him to the side. You can't have his body rotated at that angle. Like, he doesn't have that, he doesn't, like, you know, this works. Just have like a really good diaphragm. This one's modified though, but have like a really good diaphragm and a waist swivel. Or just even put like a waist swivel here and like get rid of the diaphragm. Have an ab crunch and then like a waist swivel here. Like, you know, that would work. The way Hasbro does it other times works good. I mean, you know, in most cases. The legs go up, that one goes up higher, but he can't do the splits. That's unfortunate, but you know, remember 2001, the good old days, you can do full splits, so that's pretty cool. The legs kick up, they go up not even really that high. And let's go back to 2001, where our legs were loose in 2001, because we're really old. But you can see 90 degrees, this guy's 90 degrees, but he has to kick out to the side. This guy doesn't kick out to the side. If we hold his leg there. This one goes back like about that far. This one goes back about that far. Remember when 2001, when people said the articulation wasn't very good? Turns out it was actually pretty good. You have a thigh swivel here, which that one also has. He has drop down hips that if you pull them, they drop down like that, and you can kick up that high, or you can kick up that high without drop down hips. So, like, barely a little bit more range he has there, which isn't too useful. Like I said, thigh swivel. Double jointed knee, which is pinless. Again, welcome back to 2001. We were waiting for you. Rotation here in the boot. The ankle goes decent far forward, or decent forward, pretty much all the way back, and you have a toe joint. Hey, just like 2001. So there's not much difference between these two other than, like, I don't know, proportions. That's it, and design of the suit. But other than that, he doesn't have bicep swivel or butterfly joints, which that kind of sucks. But, you know, 2001. But the rest of the body, like, from the waist down, is on par with this, if not better. And also ankle pivot, too. I don't remember if I said that. He doesn't have ankle pivot either, but that didn't exist yet. But, like, most of the stuff that this guy's, like, claim to fame, or, like, renew your vows, like, toe joints, and, like, drop down hips and stuff, and this cool diaphragm joint. That was more like retro Spider-Man, but that's not new. And it's not very good anyway, you know? Like, he can crunch forward, but he can't move to the side. Like, you can't turn his body. Like, you see what I mean? That's the problem here. Like, you can't turn his body. You could do that, but that's not the same, you know? So ultimately, articulation on this guy is, like, just okay. Like, this, like, the ab crunch is really good. That's, like, a super good ab crunch. And for being 24 bucks, I treat this as it's 24. This is supposed to cost 24 MSRP, and this is not $24. This is, or it shouldn't be. This is, like, 10 or 15. 15 at most, maybe 10 bucks, you know? Like, if I saw that for $10 and this for $10, I would think, obviously I'm going to get this because look at the detail. Look at the wash it has. They sculpted on web lines. It looks really cool. This one says Hasbro SA 2022. Why does it say 2022? This is from this year though, right? Like, didn't it come out in 2023? The other thing I want to say is that this guy is way too big for Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man, if this was actually 1/12 scale, Spider-Man is 5'10", so he should be a little under 6 inches tall. This guy is 6.5 inches tall. So that would mean this Spider-Man is 6.5 feet tall. About 16 centimeters to the top of his head. Or a little under 6 inches. Or 6.5 inches. And this guy here, a little under 6 inches. Or close to 15 centimeters. So yeah, this is how tall Spider-Man should be. Like around this height. A little under 6 inches. This guy's enormous for Spider-Man. This is like how tall Captain America is. But anyway, that's all for this video. Let me know what you think about this figure, and I will see you guys in the next review.